Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on Sunday, December 14th, 2014, around, it's a hair after 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time. Now, I mailed these Christmas cards that I had, organized and gotten squared away yesterday. I went to this 8 o'clock church service, so I left here. I left here about 7:10 and stopped over at the post office to mail them, and so it was easy enough to mail the ones I'd already had stamped. Excuse me. And but I had these 2 international letters, and so you've got to go through the thing to print out the international postage, and there's a little machine, and you go through the little checklists and things, and it then will dispense your postage, and it says take postage from machine on the left. Okay, well, I look over at the machine on the left at the slot, no postage. And I thought, well, maybe it'll come out later if I wait. Anyway, I had 2 letters to do, so I had to go through the same process for the second letter. It turns out that for most international first-class mail, if you're just mailing a letter, no oddball things, no surprises, To most countries in the world, from the United States, you can mail an international letter for $1.15, which I think is daggone reasonable. I remember when the international airmail thing with the little thin blue paper that you had to fold up and lick and was almost like flyweight. That was like 90 cents even back in I think 1971. So the international mail prices have remained very reasonable, at least from the United States anyway. So I did it again, and indeed then the first $1.15 stamp or label that I had purchased came out on the second time. And then you could see just a hint of the one I had ordered or bought the second time peeking out. You had to get way down and look up the hole, And of course, the minute you try to put your fingers on it to pull it out, first of all, it's hard to get your hand up there. I mean, you had to almost get past your wrist to do this. Shoved it back up in the machine. Well, what do you do? Now you can hear people working in the back of the post office up there. It's Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning, but and it's 7:20 in the morning, but there's still people in there working and loading and shifting things about and talking. And of course, it's all locked up. I mean, the lobby's all locked off from being able to get hold of anybody. So I thought I'll just buy another one of these things. So I went through the process again and just bought another $1.15 cent stamp. And sure enough, the second one came down that time, and the third one came out far enough that I could finally grab it. So I've got I got my $3.15 stamp / labels. So that took a little longer than I'd expected. And then I bought some other stamps, because I'm pretty much out of stamps anyway. So. Well, there it is. So I got that stuff mailed and then scampered off up to church for the 8 o'clock service. And now our rector did Rite One, which is pretty much identical to the 1928 U.S. Prayer Book, which is pretty much identical to the 1662 Book of Common Prayer. So it was nice to do that, although toward the end I think he felt he was running out of time, so he left out the Lamb of God thing after, the fraction, and he left out the prayer of humble access. I'm not worthy to pick up the crumbs under the table. I think he may have done that for theological reasons rather than just time constraints, but he might have done that because of time constraints too, or theological reasons as well. It's hard to say. I mean, it's either time or theology or both. So it was kind of fun to do that, actually, because I love the they call it traditional language. I love the 17th century language. I would have enjoyed it even more if I hadn't felt like I was about ready to crap my pants. So as soon as the service was over, I scampered home. I didn't stick around to shoot the breeze. Oh, they were going to have some sort of stewardship committee presentation thing between services. And, there was no way I was going to sit through another one of those things. I mean, I've done my share of those. I've been on stewardship committees and done my share of presentations for that sort of stuff. So, prudence being the better part of valor, I went on home. I came on home. So let's just get these stamps. I forgot to bring them in out of the truck. Let's see here. Let's see here, Joe. Okay, here we are. You got your forever stamps here. They're currently 49 cents a piece, but they tend to raise the postage rates every January, so I may have saved a few pennies on that one. And then here's the international mail stamp. Now you notice it says fold here. Now I don't know what they meant by that. I know we're supposed to put it right on the edge of the envelope and then fold this little blank spot around back. I don't know. So, not knowing what to do, I just put the whole thing smack dab on the front up in the upper, let's see, right hand corner as you face the envelope. So, the little machine had a diagram. They said after you put your stamp on your envelope or your label on your envelope and written First Class Mail International Airmail on the front of the envelope, which I duly did. It said, put this in the bin to your left. Well, they've got one of these big sort of bin things that rotate sort of in a half circle or maybe 2/5 of a circle. You pull it down, you put your materials in there, and you raise the lever up, and it drops the stuff into something on the other side. And but on the front of it, it says, domestic mail only under 13 ounces. Well, this isn't domestic mail, it's international mail, but the international mail thing on the little sales thing said, put it in this thing. So what do you do? What do you do? Do you exercise discretion, or you just put it in there? So I just put these two in there. I'm going to assume they're going to get sorted out. So I guess we'll find out, won't we? Let's get this door closed. It's gonna be dark here for guys here. Sometimes it gets dark inside. So I've once I got home, of course, I was doing some YouTube-y stuff, and some email-y stuff, that kind of stuff, a little computer housekeeping. But it's been very benign. I think Tony Pincham will appreciate this over in Great Britain, over in Nottinghamshire, in Worksop. Our PBS station here in Columbus, Ohio, is starting to re-show on Saturday nights the Inspector Morse series. So we had like Series 1, Episode 1 last night. Actually, they had the first two, or the first two parts of the first episode. When sort of the other corrupt detective inspector chief is trying to lure Sergeant Lewis away from Inspector Morse, and I hadn't seen this. I had not seen any of this first series before, so I'm going to love to watch all of this, and I think there's a way that I can catch the rebroadcast of this on the PBS site and actually download all this stuff. So I'm going to think about trying to do that here too, because I really like that series, and I thought John Thaw was just a tremendous actor and played that part so absolutely well. And and I really sort of identified with his character too. Just I sort of think he was very emotionally. I'm very emotionally like his character. Maybe not intellectually, but I'd like to think I might be that intellectually clever, but emotionally certainly I'm very like his character. So that'll be fun, and that's it for today. So I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers.